Why is the middle class in America working harder than ever, yet falling further and further behind? You see, the truth is simple. The system was never designed to make you rich. It was designed to keep you trapped. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how the middle class is stuck and the secrets the rich use to escape. Welcome to American Wealth Empire, the place where we uncover the truth about money, investing, and financial freedom. Now, if you're watching this, chances are you work hard. Maybe you have a decent job, maybe even a good salary. But no matter how much you make, it feels like you're always one step behind. Rent, bills, student loans, credit cards. And here's the shocking part. It's not your fault. The middle class in America has been taught to follow rules that don't actually lead to wealth. Rules like, go to school, get a good job, save money. But if those rules worked, why is the middle class shrinking while the rich keep multiplying their wealth? Trap them for OR1, rising costs and stagnant wages. The first trap is rising costs with stagnant wages. Over the last 40 years, wages for the average American barely moved, while the cost of housing, healthcare, and education skyrocketed. A single income that once supported a whole family in the 1970s now often struggles to cover just the basics. Think about this. In many U.S. cities, the average rent for a modest apartment can swallow half of someone's paycheck. Add healthcare premiums, car payments, and groceries, and there's almost nothing left to save or invest. This is why so many Americans feel like they're on a treadmill, running faster, but going nowhere. They're not lazy. They're trapped in a system where money loses value faster than they can earn it. Meanwhile, the rich don't rely on wages. They rely on assets that grow with inflation: stocks, real estate, businesses. When costs go up, their investments rise too. That's how the gap widens year after year. Trap number 2: debt as a prison. The second trap is debt. For the middle class, debt isn't just a burden, it's a lifelong sentence. Student loans follow young Americans well into their 40s. Car loans are renewed every few years. And credit card debt quietly eats away at their income month after month, with double-digit interest rates. Most people spend their lives working just to pay interest, never actually owning anything outright. It's like working for the bank instead of yourself. But the rich, they use debt as a weapon. Instead of borrowing for liabilities, they borrow for assets. A real estate investor takes out a mortgage to buy a property, rents it out, and the tenants cover the loan. Over time, the property appreciates, the debt shrinks, and the investor walks away with both income and equity. That's the difference. The middle class uses debt to buy things that lose value, while the rich use debt to acquire things that create value. One leads to a financial prison, the other to financial freedom. Trap 33: one source of income. The third trap is relying on a single source of income. Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. The scary part? Surveys show that almost 60% of U.S. workers wouldn't be able to handle a $1,000 emergency without going into debt. That's how fragile one income stream really is. If the job disappears, the income disappears, and so does the lifestyle. It's like building your house on one weak pillar. If that pillar falls, everything collapses. The rich escape this trap by building multiple streams of income. They may have a business, dividend-paying stocks, rental properties, royalties, or side hustles. Even if one stream dries up, the others keep flowing. Think of it like a river system. The middle class has one small stream, while the rich have many rivers flowing into the same ocean. That's why the rich sleep at night, knowing their money will still come in, no matter what happens to one source. If this is opening your eyes, pause for a second. Hit that like button and subscribe to American Wealth Empire. Because every week, I share the strategies the middle class was never taught. but the rich live by every single day. Trap you often up before, the middle-class mindset. The fourth trap is mindset. The middle class is taught to play it safe. Don't take risks, don't question the system, just work hard and hope it pays off. The problem is, safety often keeps people stuck. Most middle-class Americans spend decades trading time for money, hoping a pension or 401k will rescue them. But pensions are disappearing, and 401ks depend on markets most people don't even understand. The rich think differently. They don't see money as something to save. They see it as something to multiply. They don't fear risk. They manage it. They don't wait for permission to succeed. They create opportunities through innovation, networking, and action. And perhaps most importantly, the rich invest in themselves. They read books on finance, pay for mentors, join masterminds, and surround themselves with winners. The middle class avoids risk to feel safe, but the rich take calculated risks to get free. Trap 5. Short-term thinking. And finally, the fifth trap is short-term thinking. The middle class is obsessed with immediate results. The next raise, the next bonus, the next promotion. They spend money on instant gratification, cars, gadgets, vacations, while their financial future slips further away. That's why so many people hit retirement age with little to no savings. They lived for today, and now tomorrow looks uncertain. The rich, on the other hand, think in decades. They understand the power of compound growth. They invest in assets and let time do the heavy lifting. Here's an example. Investing just $500 a month at an average of 8% return can grow into over $750,000 in 30 years. That's not magic, it's math. But you only get those results if you can think long-term and resist the urge to spend every dollar now. The middle class wants quick money. The rich want lasting wealth. And that difference in mindset changes everything. So here's the truth. The middle class in America isn't trapped because they're lazy or because they don't work hard. They're trapped because they were taught the wrong rules. The rich escape by changing the game. They invest in assets, use debt as leverage, build multiple streams of income, shift their mindset, and think long-term. The best part, you can too. So the question is, are you going to keep following the rules that keep the middle class trapped? Or are you ready to step into the strategies that the rich use to break free? If you're ready, subscribe right now to American Wealth Empire. Because this isn't just about money, it's about freedom, choice, and building the future you and your family deserve.